Hi, this is Corey with Ago Fitness. I'm going to show you a few joint mobility drills you can do early in the morning to loosen up stiff muscles and joints, or really any time if you've been sitting for a prolonged period. So we just want to get some mobility back in the joints to improve health, improve performance at either an athletic competition or just around the house or in your daily workouts, and improve the way you feel. So start with a little ground-based series here. Just going to be stretching the low back. The great thing about this is we can do as much or as little as you like. It's really about how you feel. So I'm exhaling, so let the knees drop. Inhaling back to the center. Exhale to the other side. I'm keeping the arms out here to try to keep the lumbar spine stable. So I want this rotation to be coming from the hips, not really twisting with the lower back here. So if I bring the arms up, there's a little bit of twisting. Also keeping the knees above 90 degrees is keeping that nice and stable through there. So I'm opening up that way. Now we're just gonna release the side of the hips real quickly. Hands are outside the shoulders, knees are together. And drop those hips side to side. Again, exhaling as you increase that stretch, lengthening the tissue as much or as little as you like. You'll find that you get closer to the ground as you continue in this, and it's really up to you how much you really want to do. And then after this position here, we'll bring the knees back underneath the hips. We're just going to do reach throughs. I also like to sit back here again, really focusing on keeping that lumbar spine stable. I sit back and I'm going to reach through. So I'm getting some thoracic spine rotation. Going to provide a lot of good mobility there. Exhale. And if you'd like to switch it up from side to side, you can do that with each rep, or you can stay on one side for a designated amount of time or reps. But if you're up here off of the heels, you'll just see a little bit more rotation come from this area here. So if I sit back, that stays there, and that rotation is just coming from the thoracic spine. Alright, so after that, bring the toes together. We're going to sit back and just stretch that back out a little bit into a child's pose. And now we'll come forward again with a little more flexion into a lunge. Going to be stretching the hip flexor here, the groin there, just a little twist to get a little extra flexion. This leg here protecting my lower back, keeping it from extending too much. Stretch that out again. I'll go at a little bit of an angle so you can see better here. Stretch that out, sit back, come forward with the opposite side. If I want to increase that, I can twist this way. And just get all throughout this hip flexor here, adductors on this side. Alright, so next we'll move to another seated or floor-based pose. You can do these in whichever order you like, but we're just kind of working our way up the body here, so we're going to open up the thoracic spine a little bit more. So, legs again at 90 degrees or just above 90 degrees. And if you want, you can place a hand here to make sure you keep that leg stable, or a foam roll, and press down into the foam roll to make sure you're keeping the spine stable here. Arms open up, and come back together. Exhale as I open up, and bring them back together. So if I see the leg come up here, I know my rotation is coming from here and not up through the spine alternately. You see, you can kind of grab the ribs too if you want and open up. Do some rib rolling in this, so it's a great way to facilitate that opening through the thoracic spine. Alright, we'll move to our standing series in just a second. Alright, for the standing series, we've got two mobility drills. The first one is hip circles, so you've probably all done this before in gym class, but we just take the hips around in a circle and go however many times in one direction as you like, and we're basically getting the hips, knees, ankles, and even a little bit of the lumbar spine all mobile here. So we're making sure that we push out to the side, so we're getting some lateral flexion, a little flexion here, and then a little bit of extension. So we're taking the spine through all different ranges of motion, and by doing that, we're also moving the joints below it a little bit too. So we're getting the ankles to go out to the side here, pronating the feet inverting, everting, whatever you want to call it. Either way, we're getting all those joints loosened up. So it's a pretty nice bang for your buck exercise, very easy to do, very old school, very simple, and maybe even a little bit of fun. And then we're going to expand on that a little bit to throw the upper body into it a little bit more. We're going to do it around the world. So we start at the bottom here, making sure we hinge properly at the hips so we're not folding forward like that, putting all that stress on the lumbar vertebrae. So we want to be down like this. We want to try to make sure we hinge and get that loaded through the hamstrings and the glutes. Then we're just going to go around like so. So a hinge, going around. When I get to the bottom, again, I like to change directions. But if you feel like you're in a good rhythm, you can keep going. I just like to change directions because it gets me to set in there, load the glutes and hamstrings again. Make sure that I'm getting into that fold properly as opposed to just going through it and not being very conscious of the back. So you can work your way up from the ground up through these. It should take 5-10 minutes, and you feel a whole lot better as you get ready to start your day or your athletic event. Alright, take care. See you next week.